folks, so for this week's video we're changing things up some. We still have a ton of work to do to get the 67 Bel Air Ellie rocking and rolling and ready for No Name Nationals, but we're waiting on parts and we're waiting on a few more things. So I think this week we're going to tackle some things that I've not had time to do on this 86 Dodge Ramcharger Royal SE. This vehicle was sitting since 2001, and when I got it, the engine was locked up. I went through it, got it running, put it back on the road, and I've been driving this as much as I can. It doesn't have AC at the moment, so haven't been doing too much driving. I haul the kids around all the time, so need AC for that. That being said, fall is fast approaching, and it's going to be prime drive time for this thing. So I want to get a few things knocked out on it just to make it a little nicer, a little more reliable, and a little more comfortable. So I think the first order of business, at least for me today, is I'm going to tackle the exhaust leak we have. And it's down there at the collector where the downpipe meets the manifold. So I'm going to crawl under there and get that broken apart and put a new gasket in, and hopefully we'll seal that up. Okay, well, after fiddling around, I found out the gasket I got is the incorrect size. So I just reefed on those bolts a little bit, and it's not perfect, but it's better. There's just the slightest noise coming out of there now. The majority of what you hear actually coming from rusty exhaust system. One of the things that I don't like about this vehicle is how it bounces around. Doesn't really matter what speed you gotta. A lot of y'all are gonna say that that's just old vehicles for you, and while that's not incorrect, there's typically still a reason for the poor handling. In this case, it was lower steering shaft link box. Not what's pictured here, but what connects to that. So this is that link. This here goes on the steering box, and if you look inside there is where the steering shaft goes. So here we have the steering shaft. There's where it attaches to the rag joint coming out of the firewall. And all the way down at the other end we have where it goes into that weird box. Okay, let's get this. I know I can't be the only one that uses a basketball goal for a paint booth. Anyways, got both of these in primer. I've got a couple of coats on this piece and one decent coat on the shaft. So I'm going to let that flash, and then I'm going to come back with hopefully some black. Yeah, I got some. However long you think it's been, divide that by 2 and subtract like 15 minutes. Yeah, now these are sort of dry to the touch. Alright, that's where I'm going to end this one for the night. We'll pick this back up tomorrow evening, and whatever I get done tomorrow is what we're going to get done. I'll try and go over a list when we start off tomorrow and just see what we can get knocked out. Got lots planned. This thing just needed some maintenance and some tune-up stuff. I don't know. Just things to make it more comfortable, more reliable, and more safe. So we'll get back at it in the morning. Alright folks, it's the next day, and I've already got a few things started going on here. One of the things I wanted to do is try to get the heater core hooked back up. You can see the heater lines have been cut. So I actually had my temperature sensor over in this bung, and this was just capped with a plug. So I found my old nipple here and got it threaded in, moved this one over here, and then there is this hose here, and those two ports are going to be the heater line. Everything is hooked up and tight, so on to the next problem, which is this. I've probably got something like 700 to 1,000 miles on this build, maybe a little more, and pretty much all of that has been in the summertime. And this truck gets hot. It does fine putting around town, it does fine short jaunts on the highway, but when you're on the highway for a long period of time, it gets hot. And part of that is this JB Weld fix does not hold pressure. As soon as it gets up to 200, it wants to just keep going, and I'm hoping it's because it's continuously letting off pressure through here instead of the overflow and then being able to flow back. I'm not entirely certain. I know a leaky radiator is bad, so we're going to fix that. I'm sure this is not recommended, but I'm just going to take a grinder wheel and lightly grind some of this down and clean it up. Then I've got some flux that we're going to put on there, and we'll go from there. This isn't really a how-to, this is more just what I'm doing. actually have wire wheels. So this should be fun. Where'd my pick go? Still a little warm. These I'm not as worried about. I don't think we're going to leak through here. The holes were further back, and I'm pretty sure all this is filled up with solder. And honestly, the only reason I'm not fixing that is, well, because I don't want to. So I'm going to wipe all this off, kind of clean it up. I already hit it with the wire wheel, so it's clean in that respect. But I'm going to wipe it down and probably spritz a little bit of black paint on this. It's not going to hide any of this. It's just kind of going to make it look a little more uniform. And I'm probably going... I'm just going to spritz a little bit. I'm just going to spritz a little bit of black paint on it. Yeah, right. Whole thing got painted in the truck. Anyhow, I did go ahead and top it off, and so far I don't think anything's leaking. Looks wet back there, but that's just because I've sprayed so much paint on it. We're also ignoring the fact that I totally melted the fan shroud. So that's good. But hey, fresh paint on dirty parts. I pulled this back. The heater core should be somewhere in this area up under the dash. So I pulled some of this back to be able to see if it's going to leak. I'm going to go grab the keys, fire it up, let it run. We'll see if we have leaks here at the heater core or up there at the radiator. One pump. That sounded like a lifter. Okay, I just felt of this heater hose, which should be the out from the water pump. And it's hot, so let's go check the cab again. Holy crap, did we get that lucky? Do we just have heat? If I hit heat, holy crap, I think we have heat. Well, this truck just became a heck of a lot more drivable this winter. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this, check the temp on the truck, and we'll get on to the next task. Next up for us, I want to check on these wheel bearings. I'm going to put it up in the air, check on the bearings, and we'll see how they're doing. Okay, so let's see if y'all can spot the problem here. Try this again. Tie rod end link or something. Either way, that is no bueno. Okay, so unfortunately I just got off the phone with the parts house and they're not getting them in until tomorrow morning. I had planned on using the majority of my free time tomorrow editing. Tomorrow's Friday, today is Thursday. This video goes out Saturday morning. It's going to be tight. That being said, I've still got some other things I can do to this truck, so we're going to do those now. Get as far as we can, and if I have time to replace the tie rods, we'll do that. Okay, we are up to operating temps, sitting just below 190 or so. So now we're going to take it out and drive it a little bit. See how she does. I can already tell just driving it up and down some city streets that the grease and cleaning up the end of the steering shaft, that helped quite a bit. I do think I need to put the steering wheel on straight because it's not. Well, that short little jaunt down the highway, we're just now barely at 190. So we're going to flow through some side streets and see if the lack of airflow will get it hotter. Dead. So I'll pull off right here, check it out, and I'll get back with y'all when I figure out what this is. Oh, I think there's roadkill trapped under the truck now too. Yep. Alright, hang tight. Okay, so they got real unfun real quick. Quite sure why, but something touched something that it shouldn't have, and I lost power. I lost crank and I lost fire. So what I did for temporary was rerouted my hot wire to my coil straight to my battery. And then I took the crank wire and just jumped it on the battery. Now I'm headed home to address this for real. On the bright side, I'm going to say our cooling issue is fixed. Again, it ain't the hottest day, but when it died and I pulled over, you know, it went up like it does, just heat soaked. But as soon as I fired up, it dropped right back down. Alright, well that's going to be it. In typical Motor Trash fashion, we fixed some things, broke some things, found some broken things, didn't fix those, and Now I'm left with a vehicle that if I want to drive, I gotta start and stop from under the hood. I've got an idea of what it is, but I ain't got time to, track all that down, put the fix in here, and make a nice clean finish. So, yeah, we're ending this one here, and stay tuned for next week because we're gonna get back into everything that has to happen on Ellie to get her to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more reliable, and a little more fun. So we'll see y'all next time on Motor Trash. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this with your friends because, again, we need 500 subscribers on YouTube to make it to No Name Nationals, and we've got 1 year to do it. We've got the content eventually, so hang in there, and you'll see some pretty cool stuff here. Thanks, y'all.